Good evening. Good evening. Thank you, Rajendra ji, for giving this opportunity and such a wonderful and short introduction. I really don't know whether I deserve that, but when I left corporate 4 years back, I had some passion. I wanted to do something, and I thought this is the best opportunity to come to government and see what best can be done. And I also never expected that we will be able to do so much in a short time. This theme for today's event, I know there were lots of learned people and the leaders from their domain who spent the whole day, and I'm sure you all listened to them and learned a lot about what is being done and what they're doing. So, and I also know that you guys are tired, so I won't take much time, because I know that the concentration span is not very high in people. But since Dr. Gupta had requested, and I always I don't have guts to say no to him whenever he comes, because he does it for public good. So I'll take maybe 10-15 minutes to just let you know that how we are connected to this patients union concept. So I feel myself very lucky because because there are people who have to work for or find an opportunity to work for patient community. And currently I have two responsibilities, one as Drug Controller General of India and also scientific and director for Indian Pharmacopoeia Commission. And both these responsibilities actually give me the opportunity to serve patients directly and indirectly as part of my job. So that I basically feel myself lucky. Not many people get this opportunity. Thanks whosoever has contributed to give me this opportunity. So I'll start with my responsibility at Indian Pharmacopoeia Commission. And also whatever I do, it is basically patient-centric. So that is another satisfaction, because that's where is in Indian spirituality it is said that the patient service is the highest order of service. So again, as a part of my job, I am getting that opportunity. So it's not very easy to get, and I'm getting it very easily as part of my job. So at Indian Pharmacopoeia Commission, we have two main mandates. One is the pharmacovigilance, many of you would be knowing, and another is to set a standard for medicines which are sold in this country. So based on both these responsibilities, we are actually directly working for patients in this country and beyond. So in pharmacovigilance program, in short, it's a program where all the adverse events post-marketing are basically, we try to collect them and then do the data analytics, and then advisory goes to regulator, which again is my organization, the second organization, and we act based on those recommendations coming from Pharmacovigilance Program of India. It's a huge program. Currently we have, and this is the largest program in the world in the public sector, which is actually covering a population of 140 crores and of people, and we have created a network of now more than 1,000 centers in this country, covering each corner, where there are people either from our side, from IPC, or the local hospital or medical college does that for us, and they collect all the adverse events, and it's a very innovative way of working, where local people local hospital or the representative from our side are basically designing their innovative ways that how they can collect maximum number of adverse events. So that's working very well, and we are the, I think, 8th largest contributor to the WHO's global database of adverse events. And WHO is actually has given us the collaborative center in this part of the world, where we actually handhold a lot of these small countries in the Southeast Asia and teach them how to do pharmacovigilance program. So that runs very fast, but only one area where we, I'm still not able to get a great success and not able to do to the extent we should do, is the public participation in that. And this kind of forum is certainly, I would request each one of you to see how you can help us in that. What happens is, when adverse events are actually collected, 99% at this point in time comes from healthcare workers. And that is the issue which we face. For many it is running very well, but for me it is not running as well as it should be, unless until the patients directly participate in this program. The real benefit of this program will never come. Because the moment healthcare workers come into play, they create a filter, and then filtered information goes and comes to us. And that's what we don't want. If we have to get the real information, real side effects, real problem with patients, then patients have to directly report to us. And we have digital system for that. And we have app on Android phones which can be downloaded, and it can be actually, the adverse events can be reported based on that app. Or we have toll-free number 1-800, and the trend has increased, but it has not to the extent it should happen. So that is one request which I have. So there are a lot of things to talk about, maybe some other day when we have more time. The second part, on the quality side, setting the quality standards. So we published the Indian Pharmacopoeia, which is basically the Bible for this country, where we have about more than 3,000 monographs, and we set standards for all the medicines which are sold in this country. And there, in last 4 years since I joined government, we have done significant improvement in the quality of monographs, and we have added a lot more parameters to be tested, which actually adds to the quality of the end product. And that actually in a way creates and produces more quality medicine for the patients to take. So I'll end the IPC side here, because we don't have that much time today, but let's switch to CDSCO. And CDSCO is another organization which is working now, if I can say, keeping patient advantage at the center. So I have been able to shift the mindset and culture of the organization from whatever it was to a situation where now we think only about whatever is being done, is it for benefit of the patient or it is not, and then the strategies are driven from there. So we got a lot of success in that, national and international, and we run lots of programs, lot of amendments in the regulation, lot of operational changes have been done with keeping in mind that how does it help the patient. And some of them, if I can basically just quote here, where again there is a need for public participation. There is a huge need for public participation. So quality has been a big concern in this country. Quality of medicines has been a big concern in this country. And so I don't know how to put being the head of the regulatory system here, but I won't mince words. So there are challenges in the regulatory system, historical challenges. We have become pharmacy of the world. We are now more than 10,000 manufacturing units in this country. Out of this, 80% of the units fall under MSME category. and because of whatever compulsions, there is issue with the MSME sector largely in maintaining the quality because of both skill and deficit of will, both plays there. But since last 2 years, we have been very aggressively trying to improve that area, and a lot of success has happened in that area. But what is more important is that unless until public participation happens in pushing the system towards more and more good quality product coming out, it will not see the light of the day. It will not reach to the stage where it should be. One of the good things which we have done recently, almost more than 6 months now, is we bought a QR code system for top 300 brands being sold in this country. And the data says that top 300 brands cover more than 90% of trade happening in terms of value in this country. So somebody can ask that why only top 300 brands? So that's the reason why that covers most of the area in terms of people who target to manufacture low quality spurious medicine. So spurious medicine is a problem currently in this country, and that we are trying to solve through different strategies. QR code is one of them. And when I say 90%, if you see the data of spurious medicines being made in this country, 90% of that cover is actually targeting that top 300 brands, because that also works. Those guys who are making spurious drugs, they do it for profitability, and because of that they target only those top 300 products to make spurious of those products. So what we did was that we bought a regulation that all top 300 brands should have a QR code to basically prove the authenticity of the product. So we made it a regulation that manufacturers of these top 300 brands will have to put a QR code on their primary pack. Primary pack means the either blister or bottle, whatever is basically having that particular tablet or capsule. So that started, and they are now, because it's law, they are doing it. The problem comes where that there is a deficit of public awareness. Public doesn't know that there is a QR code which has been put there for checking the authenticity of the product. They think that it is like any other QR code which is put on clothes or FMCG products, just to give you information about the product. But it contains all the information, but that actually shows the authenticity of the product. And from government side, we are trying to run a campaign which goes on at the national level to increase that awareness. But more than that, what will work is actually if public directly understands, we are pushing the manufacturers that you spend your money, because at the end of the day it is for the benefit of you, patients for sure, but the manufacturers who are at loss because of spurious medicines, ultimately it is for their benefit also. So you spend some money out of your profit and run this awareness campaign, so that public starts scanning those QR codes on the medicine pack, and by themselves they can identify that this is spurious or this is authentic product. That does many advantages that brings many advantages in the system, like it pushes the whole system to become aware that people are directly watching it, and that is the biggest advantage we'll have. So people sitting here, the request is from now onwards, whenever you go and buy a medicine or order online, please scan the QR code. You might see that you are not able to scan. So there could be two reasons. Either there is some specific app which is required, which is not there with you, or that product is not authentic. So whatever it is, if it is not working, your first responsibility is to tell the the pharmacist or the shopkeeper, the chemist shop owner, that this is not working. You have to tell me the reason. Is it authentic, or is it issue with the QR code reader which I have? So that is another area where people like you can actually help us a lot. Apart from this I'm putting stress on this specific intervention because it has direct relationship with the public, and I'm sure you all, if you become aware and you make 10 more people aware, it will be an induction effect and will have huge advantage in the system in basically tackling that issue which currently in this country is going on. Beyond QR code, there are many things which we are doing at CDSCO to improve that whole system. In the short of time, I will not touch upon again that what all has been done. The only thing which I can say is the biggest thing which we have done is to shift the mindset in the organization from where it was to where today it is, where we are thinking about improving the whole system to ultimately benefit the patients. Today we are more than 95% digitized. We have digitized more than 95% of the regulatory process in the country. Everything is now digital. Very few things which are left, they are in process of getting converted to digital. The advantage, I don't need to get into that, you all know, but I'll just quote one example which will give you a sense of how regulation and regulatory system is getting benefited with that. So recently there was some BBC video which came in public, which was basically about use of some NDPS drugs in West Africa, and rightly or wrongly they were implicating India. So there is a debate that why they should implicate India, because it's also responsibility of the importing country to basically have a check of what is being imported in those countries. So if Indian manufacturers are sending it to say Nigeria, so it's also responsibility of Nigerian government and Nigerian regulatory system to have a check at their end that whether they get what they want, they don't get what they don't want. But whatever it is, BBC came out with that video, and they were straightly implicating Indian side that India is actually sending it there, and India is actually spoiling generations there by sending these drugs. So that's to cut the story short. We immediately acted on that information, and within 6 hours we had the complete scan of these countries, manufacturers of one particular drug which was being referred in that information. In 6 hours we knew that there are 177 manufacturers who have been given the export NOC for that particular drug, and we had the data that who has made how many batches and who has exported how many batches to which country and when. And on the basis of data analytics, we could actually identify some 13-14 of them who were in a red zone, and we went to them and did our audit, got some information, closed down some of them who were doing malpractices. So immediately in less than 1 day, we could act and basically control the damage which that video could have done at the country level. And that basically ultimately I also discussed with the Nigerian counterpart, and everybody was convinced that yes, India is doing a lot to help these countries. So that was basically advantage for CDSCO of converting. And before 6 months, this actually became digital about 6 months back. And before that, it was with the responsibility of issuing the export NOC was with the state government, and most of the states were doing physical files. If it was still a physical system, we would have taken more than a month, and even then we don't know whether we would have got the right data or not. So by converting my physical system to a digital system, we are creating a huge authentic database for different kinds of activities which are happening in the regulatory domain, which is going to help us in creating better policies, regulatory policies, in having the basically eye on what's happening in the country. In that NDPS case, what now we have done that on monthly basis, we are reviewing the data of all the exports which is happening, and immediately we can actually identify if something is not, I mean, if something which is happening which is not basically as per the regulation. So, so as I said, 95%, more than 95%, we have now digital in medical device domain, which is part of the digital health. So we have a very small domain in digital health through the medical device regulatory system. That is 100% digital. We, after the change of the shift in the mindset, we have become much more open. So right from industry to individuals are approaching us with their problems. We have established system where individual person, if a drug is not available in India and if it is approved say in US, we have a system now, a legal system whereby you can actually import it for your personal use based on the prescription, a drug which is approved in US and not approved in India. Similarly, if a drug which is under clinical trials, not even approved by US government or any country, but if it is in clinical trials and has shown very promising results, if you want and if there is no other alternative, you can actually through a legal system, you can actually import those drugs also legally. So a lot of things are actually being done, keeping patient benefit and patient in center, and you will see many more coming in future. But what the way I have seen the shift in last 2 years at CDSCO and last 4 years at IPC, I feel very proud, and I feel that we took a very right decision moving from corporate to government setup, where only thing which I had in mind before coming was that I am going to do something which is having more impact on public health, and that's exactly what I see with my eyes. I mean, I'll give you before ending the last example, which makes me many times emotional when I speak about it. So this is about CAR-T therapy. We approved 2 CAR-Ts in last 1 year in this country. So when the first one was being approved, it was from a very small startup company in Bombay IIT, and they had applied, and I think application was there for I think more than 5-6 years. I don't have hesitation in saying that we do not have expertise in the latest technologies, for example, cell and gene therapies, where this CAR-T also comes. And not only CDSCO, this country also does not have a very good expertise, people who can actually guide regulator also in doing their work. So, and there was one patient who was himself a doctor, and he was from Delhi, and he was admitted in Tata, Bombay, and and he was suffering from leukemia, and all the therapies have practically failed, and he was actually counting his days, and his family members used to come to me on almost daily basis, that please approve this CAR-T because this is the last hope for us to get him out of hospital and live for some more time. And we pushed it, we approved it, and he was the first patient to get that CAR-T in this country. And one fine morning, about a couple of weeks after approving, I got up and I get Indian Express, and I saw the first page, the bottom big column with his smiling photograph, that he is actually out of hospital after taking that CAR-T therapy, and he is hale and hearty. So that is the satisfaction which people like us get, which we would have never got in our corporate job. I'm sure there are lots of doctors here, you get this kind of opportunity on daily basis, but for non-doctors, this kind of opportunity is very rare. So thanks a lot for a patient hearing. Some other day, we will spend more time. Thanks a lot. Bye.